his truck, gets his legally owned gun, goes back, saves his boss's life, and for that he gets fired. We don't fire these people. We give them medals. We give them parking spaces right out front and call them Employee of the Year.
Our fifth story out front, shooting guns with Ted Nugent. Our Deb Farrick was invited to the Rockers Ranch in Waco, Texas, to talk hunting, self-defense, and the Second Amendment.
Fire in the hole!
For Ted Nugent, gun control is putting the second bullet in the same hole as the first.
2 down.
A lot of people look at the tragedy at Sandy Hook and they say something's got to be done, and they point to the weapons that were used as the cause.
It's not the weapons. The weapons have nothing to do with it. These weapons are in every pickup truck in Texas.
The famed platinum-selling rocker is passionate about his music, his family, and his firearms. Nugent is fiercely protective of the rights of law-abiding gun owners, and he's invited us to his 300-acre ranch in Waco, Texas, to explain why.
I'll give you some real eye candy in a second here.
We see oryx, wild turkey, and black buck antelope, all fair game during hunting season. Like tens of millions of Americans, Nugent grew up hunting with his dad and brothers. Guns are a family tradition he has avidly passed on to his wife and kids. If somebody close to you were killed by a gunman, would your views on guns change?
Absolutely not. No, I would never turn against this wonderful tool that brings me self-defense capabilities and brings me great joy in competition and marksmanship training. Now, Deb, you climb up this platform.
I'm trying to understand the nature of the hunt.
But when I get up here, I'm not kidding you, I do 79 concerts, and I get up here, I strap myself in, I take a deep breath, and I sit here for 6 hours.
So it's meditative to you?
Absolute meditation.
Have you ever tried yoga?
I think this is the supreme yoga. All right, fire in the hole.
Nugent's passion for guns and unyielding belief in the Second Amendment right to bear arms has transformed Nugent into the sometimes fanatical face of the National Rifle Association.
Boy, you are a city girl.
I'm such
a city girl. You
stand
kind of like you're golfing.
All right.
Just squeeze that trigger.
Jeez. As he teaches me gun safety, Nugent repeatedly emphasizes that gun violence is caused by criminals, the mentally ill, and a justice system that paroles felons too soon. He believes limiting guns and ammunition will not stop tragedies like the massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary. The argument that was made is that he was allowed to kill as many people as he did because it had multiple bullets and he was able to just keep firing.
Deb, the rate of fire in all these mass shootings, it's not a matter of bullets or firepower. A quail gun in the wrong hands is as deadly as this gun. People have got to come to that reality.
The ability to defend his family is something he takes very, very seriously.
When I'm being assaulted at my home, I and I alone, by any consideration whatsoever, will determine how many bullets I need to protect my family.
Nugent has been a sheriff's deputy for 30 years and carries a concealed Glock at all times. So I want you and I to solve this problem of gun violence.
There is no gun violence. There is criminal violence, and they use an assortment of tools.
Let's talk about background checks.
I like background checks.
Yes, but not at gun shows or with private sales. A lot of people in law enforcement have to take a psychological exam before they're allowed to carry.
Well,
so why not ordinary citizens?
I wrote Wango Tango when I carry a gun.
Nugent sticks to his guns literally. For him, the Second Amendment is non-negotiable.
America, my name's Ted Nugent, and these are all legal guns, and I'm going to see that they remain legal because they're all good.
They're all good. It was just amazing to see. And at the end there, when you showed all those guns, some of them with the pink camouflage, I know you said his wife is also into shooting. How many guns does he have?
He's got over 200 guns. He's got Israeli Uzis. He's got guns that are made in Romania, in Serbia, a lot of the Armalite, the AR series. They're not, the AR doesn't stand for assault rifle, it stands for Armalite. And so he wants people to know the terms so that when they talk about these guns, they talk about them properly.
AR-15 is what we talk about Bushmaster that was used in Newtown.
Right,
so
he's got one of those too. Yeah, he's got everything. He really has a big stockpile of guns, but to him, he collects them the way you and I might collect watches or collect cars, for example.
Wow. Okay, so President Obama has said he doesn't have any intention of confiscating guns. That is not his goal. He's not trying to attack the Second Amendment. Nugent, though, doesn't believe him.
No,
Why?
He doesn't believe him at all, because the way he sees it, he says, look, the majority of guns, 310 million guns, are in the hands of law-abiding citizens. The minority are in the hands of criminals. They're the ones who are committing the crimes. And that's why he says, look, why is the government coming after us saying we're going to ban these guns when we're not the ones who are doing anything? And so he focuses on criminality, on people who have mental illness, on making sure people stay in prisons long enough. But he says it's not the gun. And that's really the point that the NRA is trying to convey as part of this debate that's going on in the country right now.
So what would he do if there were a gun ban? Just ignore it?
No, well, in many cases, yes, because how do you enforce a gun ban? What do you do? If you take all the guns away tomorrow, people are out there who are going to find and get their hands on the guns.
There's hundreds of millions that are already out there.
Absolutely. What do? Do you give them, do you hand in your guns? And that's the slippery slope that he sees, that in fact, once you start in that direction, you're going to be giving up these things, or law enforcement's going to be coming and trying to register them, so there's a whole series of reasons why they simply do not trust any sort of gun restriction in that way.
All right, Deb Farrick, thank you very much. And still to come, Vanilla Ice. A camel and I have something in common. I'll tell you what it is next.